Right. Hi, everyone. I'm back. Took a while. It's another VR. This time it's Anna Astral Lady Tarot's tag, where it's your, how she put this? It's basically your favorite deck, your one favorite deck. Now, I've done recently my top 5 for 2019. And every time I do one of these videos, I sit there and I go, oh, well, this is my favorite deck. This would be in there no matter what. If I could only have one deck, I'd have this deck. And then I go on to talk about all my other favorite decks. And when I saw this one, I thought, crunch. Would I really only be happy with that one deck? Think about it a bit. And I thought, okay, Judy, it's time to put your money where your mouth is. And just say, this is my favorite deck. And it is. I think if you've followed me at all, or if you've seen any of my videos, this will come as no great surprise to you at all. But my one favorite deck is the Rider-Waite-Smith. Now, I still have this set up where the camera is not mirroring me. So I keep wanting to go one way and the picture goes the other way. So forgive me, I'm going to be all over the show. But, as I always say, you know what it looks like. But it's my favorite deck. It's the deck I learned on. It's the deck I cut my teeth on. Should I put that side? Is that? Yeah, I suppose that's all right. It's closer to the light that side. I've got countless other types of decks, lots of decks I love for various reasons. But really, if I had to cut it down to a single deck, it would have to be this one. This is the one I sort of know inside out. It's just, it, I don't know, it just, you either love it or hate it. I think there's people who absolutely adore it. Hello, Simon. And, and people who think, oh my God, no, so boring. Look at those dreadful colors, blah, blah, blah. But, it just says tarot to me. I'm not going to go into that bit of it too much because there are 9 questions and I want to kind of fire through them. Now I've got them on my phone here, so I keep having to fire it back up. And I actually came to doing this video because I watched Divination's VR to this, and then I watched Anna's, and now I'm doing it because I have to. Right. How did you find your deck? Or how did you find this deck? Well, that was easy enough. I was about 16-ish when my friend gave me an absolutely battered to shit copy of the Aquarian Tarot. Loved the images, but the deck was just so disgustingly worn out that I was like, oh God, I'm going to use this. So eventually, I decided to take myself to the University Bookstore in Seattle, in the University District. And I mooched around their metaphysical section, looking specifically for a Rider-Waite-Smith deck because I was getting all my information from the library, and all the library books, all the books on tarot in those days featured the Rider-Waite-Smith deck. That was it. So that's what I was looking for. And I found 2 decks, actually. I got myself a little miniature Rider-Waite-Smith because it was cheap and it was cute. And, I figured I could carry it around with me. Now, the bigger the better almost as far as tarot cards goes. But I still have a pocket size edition that I can cart around with me. But no, so I got myself a little mini Rider-Waite-Smith and an Oracle deck. It calls itself a tarot. And again, if you've seen any of my videos, you probably have seen this one before. And it's actually sitting right here next to my desk. I just moved the stone off it. And that's the Morgan's Tarot. And that's the card that was on the cover of the box. This came up in my last video as well. So I think it's like, well, I want to get this deck, but I need to get a Rider-Waite-Smith. I'll just get a small, cheap Rider-Waite-Smith so I can get this deck. I love this. This is my BFF. I love this deck. It's just so much fun. We're doing a little bit better with the focusing this time. I think it's because I'm shoving it in the camera more. So, anyway, this is not the Morgan's Tarot show. This is the Rider-Waite-Smith show. So we'll put you back. Yeah, and that was that. And I had that deck, and I used that deck for donkey's years. In fact, I gave it away to a friend only a couple of 3 years ago. But in the interim, I bought myself, because I finally realized, Judy, you need bigger cards than this. This just isn't working. And I bought myself one of the original Rider-Waite decks, and I really wish I hadn't. I thought, oh, original, that's going to be really good, and it's the sort of faded, sort of antique-y colored one. And in my eyes, it was just muddy and depressing and horrible, and I hated it to the point where it nearly put me off tarot completely. It just, I hated that deck so much, and it was only about, well, actually, when was it, 15? So yeah, about 4 years ago, I thought, this is no good. I have got to get rid of this deck. And that's where I got my real favorite deck. I don't think this answers any other questions in here, so I'll just pop it in here. And I might as well just talk about what it is I love about this deck. I made, this is my precious copy. I made a little cover for it, little tie there, which I'm now going to struggle to undo. What is it you love about this deck? I don't know. It's, as I said, it's what I learned on. It's just, I just know it, and everybody knows it. If you show somebody a tarot deck, any of the myriad ones that are out there these days, people who know nothing about tarot will kind of go, oh, that's an interesting picture. But if they see one of these guys, they just automatically know, oh, that's a tarot deck. So, it's just universally recognizable. It's just your bog standard basic, but it does the job. It does what it says on the tin, as the advert says. So that's what I love about it. And I love the images. I haven't got, oh, how did I suddenly end up on the wrong side? There we go. I haven't got any issues with these images. I haven't got any issues with the Christian symbolism, because I suppose, I'm not Christian. I've never been Christian, but, it's recognizable. It's symbolism. Yeah. So it doesn't bother me. Angels in the deck don't bother me. I've never particularly associated angels with Christianity. Angels are just angels, as far as I'm concerned. So I haven't got a problem with that. So anyway, so this is my precious, and this is a Rider and Company. Oh, look, like the Hierophant. Oh, people got mad about that one. And it's like, well, he just represents something, the same way that the Empress represents something, the same way that the Emperor represents something. It's a mindset, a way of being, whatever, archetype, that lovely word. Anyway, so this is a Rider and Company 1972 blue box Blushing Fool Rider. And the way this one came to me is because I was saying I got so fed up with that ugly original that I went on eBay and I just looked for Rider-Waite decks. Prior to getting this one, I found a 1980s. I'm doing it again. US Games one. Yeah, it's got the little, there we go. Come on, focus. It's got the little copyright in the corner. So, but it's the 1980s. So the cardstock is nice. It's matte. It's, it's lovely. Really chuffed with this. Got it for a good price. Happy. And then about 2 weeks later, the blue box appeared for stupid money. Absolutely stupid money. I was, tip to the wise, I was just searching on eBay for tarot cards under a certain price. Because I figured if you're going to get a bargain, you're going to get a bargain from somebody who doesn't know what they've got. So they're not going to be saying, ooh, it's a this, it's a vintage that, it's this author, it's that publisher, it's blah, blah. They're just going to go, tarot cards. I've got this deck of tarot cards. I want to get rid of them. And I did. And I got the blue box for something like 11, 12 pounds. Yeah, it was just mad. Okay, it was filthy. It was absolutely filthy. The box was not falling apart, but all the side flaps, all the corners had broken out. And the cards themselves were sticky, yeah, and dirty. And I had to take one of those, like an artist's eraser or putty rubber to each and every one of the cards to get the grime off it. I mean, it's still not pristine, and the edges are quite gray. But I don't care. For the money, I don't care. And I love it. And that is my baby. And I was using that all the time. I think, hang on, let's get back to the questions, because this was, I'll go skip to question 8. Do you read with it for others? Yes, I do. Do you read with it for others? Yes, I did read that right. Yeah, I do. I mean, this is the one that more often than not I will use to read for others. But it was getting to the point where I was doing that, and I suddenly started thinking, Judy, if you trash this deck, if you bend a card, if you do, if you kind of like really wear it out, you're going to be upset. So maybe you should start using your 80s deck more, which is why this one came out of its box and it sits here now. And so I tend to actually use this one rather than my precious. So we'll move you to the side for a second. Right. So I've skipped to question 8. Now I'm yabbering away here. If you needed to name the deck in a few words, what would they be? Well, I think I've pretty much done that. It does what it says on the tin. It's your bog standard basic tarot deck that every book, well, virtually up until recent years, every book referenced. Everybody recognizes it. The symbols are classic. You can't go wrong. You can use this one and learn the basics, and then the world's your oyster. You can use pretty much any deck after that. Okay, if you want to do Marseille or something like that. I just noticed you can't see my hands. I'm normally very expressive with my hands, but my hands are all down here. The camera setup's not right. Oh, and I have a little bandage on my wrist because my wrist's hurting because I'm an old lady. There you go. But yeah, Marseille's different. There are other decks, and you would have to well, you don't have to, but you might want to sort of consider reading Marseille differently. I do. Not everybody does. Right. What's my primary use for it? My primary use for it is fortune telling. That's it. For anybody, for me, for anybody. That's it. There's nothing fancy there. Number 5, even though you love it, no deck is perfect. So what could be different? Rider-Waite-Smith. What are you going to change? There's nothing I want to change about it. I actually like the colors. Some people can't stand it. Some people, can only stomach it if it's like the Universal or the Radiant or something like that. Having said that, I do want, what is it? James Rickliff's RWS 2.0. I love the colors in that. And if I could afford it, but I can't, but if I could, I would buy one of the, is it University Press ones? The colors in that are just stunning, absolutely amazing. I wouldn't mind having one of those. If you've got a spare one knocking around and you just want to get it out of the way, I'll take it. Like that's going to happen, right? So yeah, no, it's nothing. I wouldn't change a thing about it. I love it. It is what it is, and I love it. 6. What would you say to someone who just got this deck? Well, if they were a beginner, I'd say good choice. There's my thumb. I hate this camera. It's a good choice. You can't go wrong. Virtually all the reading material is geared to Rider-Waite-Smith imagery to some extent. So just, go for it. And then, and then you can move on. If it's somebody who's already read tarot and is now getting one of these decks, what took you so long? It's a classic. It has its place in anyone's collection. It has its place, and I love it. So there you go. I'm happy for you. Number 7, do you keep it in a special place? I keep it on what I refer to as my personal altar. That also got a mention in my last video. It's just the shelf above my desk here, where I've got a few decks, crystals, feathers, crystal balls, a few bits and bobs, things that I'm going to put up there. Hidden behind me, sort of deliberately, is my working altar. But this is just, my sort of close at hand special stuff. And that's where it sits, in its little bag. And sometimes I dig it out to use it, because I love it to bits. But often I have the other one sits open on my desk here. I should actually get the camera and just swing it around my desk. I am totally surrounded by cards, and all up the side here, and up the side there, and up there, and on the top shelf, and in what is the fireplace. The fire grate is full of all different kinds of cards. And behind me, I've got one of those giant old wheel around sewing boxes, and that's full to the brim with all sorts of decks. I have a problem. Hello, my name is Judy, and I'm addicted to cards. Yeah. So I kind of sit in this room by myself. My husband walks in every now and then and looks around and just kind of rolls his eyes and walks out again. Okay, that was 6. Number 7, do you keep it in a special place? Done that. Do you read for others? With it for others? Yes, absolutely. That's my main purpose. You know, I want to read for others. I want to read. Yeah, it's just, I want to do that thing. So yeah, and this just works so well for me. I use other ones. I use other ones for people as well. I use pretty ones or weird ones depending on the mood. But you know, if it was just a quick, I need an answer. You know, boom, just do it. So finally, it takes us to number 9. Finally, go through the entirety of, or part of, in brackets, the deck and point out what jumps out at you. Right, well, I'll do my goody one for that. And I have absolutely no idea what's going to go on here. This may get really boring, folks. You know, well, no, first of all, the crossed keys at the bottom of the Hierophant. You know, that jumped out at me. Off the top of my head, it's not saying anything to me at the moment. See, this is where I'm not good. I am not good at live, you know, stream of consciousness sort of stuff as far as the cards go. I'm very much an introvert. You know, very much aware that I am talking to myself essentially at the moment, although it is going to be for public consumption at some point. And I like to do my readings in peace and quiet by myself, where I can just gather my thoughts, look at the cards, and have them tell me what they need to say. And then find the words to convey that to somebody else. And I find that very difficult to do on the hoof, so to speak. So this sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm not. Hang on. Oh, I do like this one. This. Here we go. The garden full of lilies. And then that entrance, or exit, I suppose you could say, from the garden to the wider world, and some mountains in the background, which is always worth considering. Ooh, the light suddenly shifted. Maybe it's because I've got the card there. But anyway, let's put it over this side so it doesn't seem to object so much. That, you know, always makes me think, okay, you know, it's not necessarily going to be a walk in the park. You know, there are mountains there. You've got some work to do. I'm always intrigued by the fact that he sits in front of this very large city. I always, well, not always, but sometimes that will jump out at me and I'll think there's a significance to that. There's a significance to the fact that there is a whole city, a whole populace behind this man. That kind of thing. This could get really tedious. Anything. This is probably one of my favorite cards. I'm doing it again. There we go. The World. Nothing too phenomenal there, but I do like that card. And I mean, who wouldn't? You know, how is it going to go? The world. Hey, okay, right. Well, we can just put the rest of the cards away. It's going to be cool. Here's the thing. This is less what's jumping out at me as what's, you know, I've noticed in the past and that I've always kind of considered interesting. Now, how am I going to do this? Where's my hand relative? The guard. There's always a very strong sense of protection and security I get from this card. They're in a courtyard. They're surrounded by buildings. They're, you know, the watchtower, the guard. Everything is very safe and protected. That's something that I often see in that card. Again, it's not necessarily always going to jump out at me. I love the ships. Who doesn't love the ships in the back of this? Yeah, tossing and turning. Come on, there we go. I am making everybody seasick by having these unfocused pictures. No. Anyway, I'm probably, yeah, well, I'm not even probably, I'm not saying anything that other people haven't commented on in the past. Quick flip through. Oh, do you know, I've never really noticed. Well, it's never been significant. The pink. It doesn't show up on camera terribly well, probably because I've got my desk lamp on and it's quite a yellow light. But that is quite a raspberry pink ground in the front of this card. And I've never really noticed how pink it was before. See, there is a purpose to going through your cards from time to time, even if you think you know them inside out and upside down, and really looking at them Really looking at them. Anything else? Nah, that's enough. How long have I nearly swore. 20 minutes. That's it. I'm done. I'll put the hashtag in it. I'll put the links to Anna's video and Dee's video because, you know, she's the one who brought me here. Go do it. I dare you. What's your one favorite deck? Only one. I'll catch you later. Bye.